much of what is happening to be covered up, particularly the abuse that is happening within families.
We here at the JIS join Prime Minister Andrew Holness's call. Do not remain silent about any form of abuse. If we want Jamaica to be the place of choice to live, work, raise families and do business, we have to play our part in ending crime and violence. And it starts by you speaking out and telling the police what you know. We have a lot in store for you, so please stay with us.
No one is above the law. We encourage all Jamaicans to join the fight against corruption, organized criminality, these nefarious activities that stymies our country's progress. I want to encourage all Jamaicans to call. We have a secure line, 1-800-CORRUPT. Call anytime and we will treat the information received with the highest standard of confidentiality. We need your help. We want to elicit your support.
Call 1-800-CORRUPT. That's 1-800-267-7878. Be the change. Report corruption today.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh and this is your JIS News for Monday, January 8. Approximately $4.8 billion will be spent to improve the island's road network. 51 road rehabilitation projects are scheduled to commence this year across 7 parishes. Works will include construction of retaining walls, the laying of new base and paving with asphaltic concrete, and construction of sidewalks and road markings. The widening of the Nago Head Main Road in Portmore, St. Catherine is among the projects. This is being done to alleviate traffic congestion. Speaking with JIS News, Senior Communications Officer at the National Works Agency, NWA, Ramona Lawson, said upgrading of this section of the roadway is estimated to cost just under $250 million.
Some items in the program of work include gabion wall construction, rubble masonry wall construction, as well as we'll be laying down, installing concrete sidewalks and putting in curbs and channel, as well as stormwater drainage.
Ms. Lawson also informed that sections of the Fairfield Road in St. Catherine is also earmarked for rehabilitation. The project will cost approximately $160 million.
To do mainly drainage improvement works and overlaying works with asphaltic concrete. Some 2.05 kilometers of roadway will be rehabilitated under that project. Part of the scope of works as well, we'll also be constructing about 1,100 meters of U-drain. All of this work is expected to be performed within 6 months of the start date of the project.
The road rehabilitation project is being implemented by the NWA under the second phase of the local component of the Major Infrastructure Development Program. The judicial system has been strengthened with an increase in the number of judges to the Supreme Court. 3 were appointed as puisne judges, another 3 to act as puisne judges, and 1 to act as master in chambers. The judges were sworn in by Deputy Governor General Stedman Fuller on Friday. In commending the appointees, Mr. Fuller highlighted that the judicial system has been the bedrock of the country's democracy.
The transparent method by which new judges are selected for appointment is one way of securing that legacy. This is a position of high esteem, which requires your continued dedication to service above self and the preservation of the integrity for which our judicial system has become known.
Education Minister Reid is reporting that over 100 early childhood institutions will receive certification having met all operational standards of the Early Childhood Commission. Minister Reid says his ministry will continue the work to ensure more basic schools achieve the set of standards.
In addition, as part of the wider government policy, we've made a commitment to place stronger emphasis on the development of Jamaica's early childhood education sector. To this end, we have provided increased funding in partnership with the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security to reactivate the early stimulation program for mother and child from birth to age 3.
And as the government and public sector wage negotiation continues, Minister Reid is urging teachers to exercise due diligence to avoid actions that would cause disruption to the education sector.
We value and respect our teachers and wish for an amicable and speedy settlement to these negotiations that is satisfactory to all parties. We advocate for mutual respect and wish to avoid any disruption to the education of our children, the future of our country.
Minister Reid reminded teachers that a lot has been achieved to advance the education sector and encouraged cooperation to move the sector ahead with future plans. The Education Minister was addressing the nation in his back-to-school message on Sunday. And finally, the funeral for Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Information Service, Ian Boyne, will be held on Sunday, January 14. The service will be between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. at the National Indoor Sports Center in Kingston. Persons may view the body prior to the start of the service from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. His body will be interred at the Dovecot Memorial Park in St. Catherine. Members of the public are invited to join in the celebration of the life of the veteran journalist. A condolence book will be opened at the venue. The service will be streamed live on the JIS Facebook page and broadcast live on JNN. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
We have a subculture that supports those who do not inform, an anti-informer culture that pervades our entire society that we must break down.
The Office of the Prime Minister recorded solid performances in 2017. Get the highlights next.
At the start of the Andrew Holness-led administration in 2016, the target was clear: 5% growth in 4 years. That mission has not changed. In fact, in 2017, there were positive steps towards achieving the targets set. Securing the country to foster growth was a major priority for the Office of the Prime Minister in 2017. In January, the administration welcomed new Chief of Defence Staff, Major General Rocky Meade. By July, the Zones of Special Operations Bill was passed and 2 zones declared in the year.
We will stay with the communities for as long as it takes for them to be normalized. And by normalized, we mean that the community owns the peace.
Tackling corruption was another focus of the Office of the Prime Minister. In 2017, the Integrity Commission Bill was passed.
From my estimation, Jamaica, our nation, will win from this new legislation.
Jamaica's security apparatus also extended to the Caribbean in the aftermath of 3 major hurricanes.
Their exemplary performance has ensured that our national flag was proudly worn by our soldiers as a welcome sight all over the island.
And to ensure even greater protection for citizens, Mr. Holness piloted and the Houses of Parliament passed the National Identification and Registration Authority NERA Act.
The bill is consistent with a rights-based approach to ensure that every citizen of Jamaica can be identified and be known to the state.
Town hall meetings and a NIDS Facts website was created to give Jamaicans credible information about the legislation. And plans to transform Jamaica into a digital society took shape in 2017. The country secured a $68 million loan to implement the NIDS as the first phase of the program.
We're emphasizing the creation of the digital society because it will bring economic growth and job creation.
Public sector streamlining also continued in 2017. In January, Maria Thompson-Walters was appointed to lead the public sector transformation team, and several entities were either divested, merged, closed, or subsumed into a parent ministry.
We want the public sector to see themselves as the important instrument of growth and equal and critical partners with the private sector in bringing growth and prosperity to Jamaica.
In March, the Prime Minister welcomed the first cohort of Jamaica House Fellows. The 8 will work with the government for 2 years.
We have to build a society of excellence.
By May, the Housing Opportunity Production and Employment Hope Initiative was launched. Over 14,000 unemployed, unskilled or unattached 18 to 24-year-olds were engaged in 2017. The Jamaica Defence Force also played its part towards achieving the 5% growth target. In addition to recruiting 500 young persons under its National Service Enlistment Corps, it also opened the Directorate of Training and Doctrine Institute to boost its training capacity.
The directive to the board is to build house.
And the National Housing Trust did just that, delivering over 5,000 housing starts in 2017. 42 developments across 11 parishes were also initiated in the year. Thanks to a policy change in July, NHT contributors can now access up to $5.5 million to buy homes on the open market. 8,500 loans were disbursed to mortgages, and the NHT increased its homeowners loan to $2.5 million, up from $1.5 million. The trust also completed a strategic review of its operations in November.
The country should now prepare itself for profound, fundamental, but changes that are beneficial to the NHT and to the people of Jamaica.
There were marked improvements in communication between government and citizens in 2017.
Today, without equivocation, we apologize for what occurred in Coral Gardens. 73 persons lost their lives, and we are truly sorry for the pain and loss that occurred.
On July 24, the Office of the Prime Minister launched its Jamaica House Petition Portal, giving citizens the chance to lobby government on matters of national importance. Several community meetings were held during the year under the OPM Live and Hope for Jamaica banners.
These town hall meetings are about empowering the people of Jamaica.
The Access to Information Youth Ambassadors program was launched in November. On May 4, OPM TV Online broadcast its first content. And to accommodate greater coverage of national events, the JIS television department's planned relocation made major progress. 2017 was a banner year for the Office of the Prime Minister, and 2018 is shaping up to be an even better year.
I'm strongly of the view that we will achieve the growth targets set.
Join us on Tuesday, January 9 for a review of the major achievements in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. That's a review of 2017 in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation on January 9, right here on this station.
It's the first day of the new school term for most students. Parents, did you prepare breakfast for your child this morning? If you did not, watch this next feature for ideas on how to remedy that tomorrow morning.
Breakfast is said to be the most important meal of the day. But how often have we been having breakfast? We've been skipping breakfast morning after morning. Do we really want to pass on this poor health practice to our children? I don't think so. So we've decided to get some help. The Granville campus of the Hartress NTA's Northwest TVET Institute has offered to render some assistance by giving us some quick and easy meal ideas that's fit for the entire family. Our facilitator today is sous chef Randy Plummer. Thanks for having us, Randy.
Hi Sandra, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Welcome to Granville campus. Today we'll be doing some healthy, nutritious meals. just to give parents and caregivers a workable example of what they can do in no time.
So before we get into business, Randy, why is it so important for us to have a healthy breakfast?
Well, it's important to have a healthy breakfast because the body, throughout the night, the body loses all the nutrients that it would have gotten in the day. And what the breakfast does now, it introduces new nutrients to the body, giving the body energy so you can carry out given tasks throughout the day. Also, studies have shown where students who have, or children who have healthy breakfasts, they tend to concentrate better in school or at their work.
Some of us parents can hardly find time to send our children to school on time, much less cook meals in the mornings. What do you recommend?
Well, there's a whole lot of easy breakfast ideas. Simple thing, just as a boiled egg with some tomatoes, introducing protein along with vitamin C. Another example, oatmeal porridge with raisins. Oats is a good source of fiber. Raisins a good source of vitamin C also. So there are many ways that you can do simple dishes that doesn't take much time.
Okay, so with that said, let's get started.
Okay. Welcome to our kitchen. Today I have assisting me, Sapphire. We're doing some easy breakfast meal ideas. The meals are so easy to prepare, so you can have your children assist you. Today we'll be preparing mackerel croquettes. The ingredients are mackerel, escallion, mixed vegetables, red onions, and white onions. Also, we'll be using the breading process. The ingredients for the breading process are flour, egg wash, and the breadcrumb. For children who suffer from celiac disease, instead of using our regular breadcrumb, you can use the gluten-free breadcrumb. So what we'll be doing now is basically adding all our ingredients and mixing them together. So first we'll add the sweet potato. And sweet potato is rich in iron and potassium. We'll add the mackerel flakes.
So Randy, how long does this meal usually take to prepare?
It doesn't take more than 5 minutes. So what I would suggest to parents who work and have no time to prepare the meals in the morning, prep all ingredients from overnight, put them in the fridge, and then go ahead and deep fry them in the morning. And that will take the most 3 minutes. So what I'll have Sapphire doing now is just mixing the ingredients for me. Okay, well done, Sapphire. We'll now add some eggs for binding. Just mix the ingredients thoroughly. What we're going to do now is make some mini balls. So just squash everything together. It's almost the size of a golf ball. So we then coat it in flour, then egg wash, then breadcrumb. Sapphire is going to help me make one of the balls. Take up a small amount, squash it together. Squash it. Squash it with your hands like that. Squash it and just gently roll it. Okay, well done, Sapphire.
Okay, and how many of these balls do you usually recommend?
Normally for age group 5 to 11, I would recommend 8 ounces. So you're looking at about 4 to 5 of these balls. And portion control is very important because the correct portioning of food alleviates obese children. You have a whole lot of obese children all across the world, and overeating is one of the main factors. And now we'll move to the fryer. We're going to fry these croquettes until they are golden brown. And this should take no longer than 2 to 3 minutes. And the taste is very great. So the mothers and single mothers who have a short period on their hands to prepare breakfast in the morning, this is one of the easier way to go. And it's very nutritious. As you saw, we had a lot of vegetables in there, along with the mackerel that is rich in omega-3. You know, omega-3 is good for heart health. It prevents against heart disease. If you are a vegetarian, you can use veggie chunks or veggie mince.
Quick and easy to prepare and also nutritious. Don't they look nice? Wow, this is really good. Come here, help yourself.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
Catch up on the latest news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister next.
Increased focus on tackling crime and violence in 2018. The church urged to join fight against lawlessness. And cabinet to discuss wage negotiations with rank-and-file members of the police force. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Lorraine Mendez.
You have to bring it to your pulpit. We can't allow much of what is happening to be covered up.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness calling on church leaders to preach against crime and violence and its undermining force on the family structure. Speaking at the 13th annual Heal the Family, Heal the Nation service Wednesday, Mr. Holness also urged the church to speak out against all forms of abuse, particularly child sexual abuse.
If you see something like that, it is not right. It cannot be accepted practice in our culture. We must expose it and preach against it. And if you see someone suffering quietly, reach out to them and help them.
Pointing to the church's capacity for outreach and counseling, Prime Minister Holness encouraged the church to use its influence in curbing vengeance and reprisal killings. The Prime Minister's New Year's Day message struck a similar chord, calling for a reduction in violence and aggression against women and children and implementation of new methods to solve disputes.
This year, I intend to lead a national campaign against violence in all its forms. In 2018, let's bring back the Irish Jamaica, the peaceful Jamaica, the loving Jamaica, the happy Jamaica, the prosperous and progressive Jamaica.
To tackle crime and violence, Prime Minister Holness informed that there would be an increase in the number of zones of special operations in 2018. The zones, he said, shows government's resolve to reclaim communities captured by criminals and make Jamaica safe for all citizens.
Zones of special operations have shown Jamaicans that our security forces can police communities and control crime in localities without abusing citizens' rights. We have now created a framework for the whole of government response to citizen security.
Prime Minister Holness said special attention would also be paid to ridding the country of illegal guns and ammunition.
Illegal weapons and the organized criminal network around their procurement, importation and distribution are national emergencies and will get national attention in 2018, which will include amendments to the Firearms Act, amendments to the anti-gang legislation, and amendments to the Bail Act.
Mr. Holness said other legislation would be tabled and passed in 2018 to strengthen the police force. They include the Police Service Act to facilitate institutional reform in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Act, and the National Security Act, which will coordinate all agencies within the national security space. Rank-and-file members of the police force were also on Prime Minister Holness's agenda this past week. On Tuesday, he responded to a letter from the Police Federation seeking his intervention into a wage impasse with the government. The Ministry of Finance and the Public Service has offered the police a 6% wage increase, which they have rejected. In the letter, Mr. Holness told the Federation that the dispute would be the subject of today's cabinet meeting. He informed that though he had discussed the wage talks with the Ministers of Finance and National Security, a broader discussion with the cabinet is required due to the far-reaching implication of the issue. While highlighting the police's integral role in providing security as a precursor for economic growth, the Prime Minister also pointed to the delicate state and stage of the island's economic recovery. He said present action would determine if the country stays on the course to recovery, adding that it is in all parties' collective interest to ensure that recovery is maintained. Jamaica's push to become a maritime powerhouse within the region also captured Prime Minister Holness's attention this past week. On Wednesday, he met with representatives of the Factories Corporation of Jamaica, the Port Authority of Jamaica, the Special Economic Zones, and JAMPRO. During the meeting, he received updates from each agency on their efforts to meet their targets and objectives for 2018. And the Prime Minister hosted the 6th staging of Shaggy and Friends charity event on the lawns of Jamaica House Saturday. The event was staged in support of the Bustamante Hospital for Children. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Do join us next time for more of the news coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
On our roads, remember, take time, be courteous, drive good, walk good. Don't drink alcohol and drive. Don't drive tired or sleepy. Don't tailgate and don't overtake unless it is safe to do so. And always drive at a speed which will allow you time to stop quickly and safely. Let's keep it safe on our roads.
And that's our show. Be sure to join us round about the same time tomorrow for another informative magazine program. Stay connected with us. Send emails to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. Visit our website, jis.gov.jm, or visit our social media sites now on screen. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.